Just recently, I made a big blunder. I found myself amongst an audience of 23 countries with 185 delegates, and I was asked to hold the microphone and do an elevator pitch in terms of what I do. And here's what I said. I said, I help people turn difficult people into easy. And that was basically my elevator pitch. And initially, the guy who basically run the conference said like, so what do you do exactly? Like, cause has anybody got any idea what Brahm does? And so one person would say, oh, he's maybe in counseling. And another person said, well, he's probably doing therapy with couples or something. And anyway, all of these sorts of voices went around, and it just taught me, whoops, that was a bit of a mistake. My elevator pitch didn't quite have this decisiveness and the cut through to really very instantly convey the message of the type of work I do as a trainer and coach. And so I thought it was a bit funny. But here's also what was the most interesting part that happened over the course of 5 days. This was a 5-day event overseas that I attended in Malaysia, actually in Langkawi. And what happened now over the course of the next 5 days, I bumped into multiple people from this event, at lunches, at dinners, when I took a coffee break, and so on and so forth. And while we were just floating around through the retreat, the hotel, and while I was walking down the streets, and as I bumped into people, they said, "Hey, on, you're the guy who turns difficult people into easy." And then another person would say, "Hey, you're the guy that turns difficult people into easy." And we would have this very instant sort of rapport and an opportunity to start a conversation just because of this elevator pitch that really didn't land well, but it got everybody's attention, which is one, and two, it hooked everybody that, they could think of something attached to it that would make it meaningful to them. And that is really where I thought, well, initially, I thought this thing really didn't get it, or it was a very bad elevator pitch. The elevator pitch actually turned out to be quite well, considering that it got everybody's attention and that everybody could at least see some value in it for them, whatever that might look like. Anyway, the point of this little story here that I'm sharing openly with you is that I love the art of communication. And so, yes, while my elevator pitch might have not been the strongest, one of my key core products that I have been doing since 2013, so imagine now 12 years later, is Communication Mastery. It's my signature course, my flagship program that has really taken the world by storm. And whether individuals or whole organizations, they've all benefited from this framework that I developed around DISC and emotional intelligence. And let's just be honest, if you ever heard of DISC personalities before, you might think that you know, but guess what? You don't. Because I can show you things around it that will absolutely blow your mind. And not just in terms of theory and all of that, but it's all about what you do with that knowledge in your specific life and in your career. That makes a world of difference. And so we've seen people that have turbocharged their sales, because that's very easily measurable whether you do it or not. In fact, one of the guys that I've been working with for 18 months, he's an account manager. He's taking his accounts 5-fold up over the course of 18 months, which is insane. We've seen executives, be able to pitch internally to their board of directors and the likes, or even the CEO, and obtain support and funding for projects that they didn't get in 20 years prior, and suddenly now they walked away with 2 successful backings within 2 months following the course Communication Mastery. We've also seen senior leadership teams find more ways to connect and align themselves with each other and overcome personal differences and challenges that they might have as people. Because let's face it, we all have a difficult person somewhere, whether that's at home, in the boardroom, in the same building that you're in, or maybe somewhere else. So whether they're a client, a supplier, a colleague, a boss, a coworker, an employee, difficult people, they are there. But guess what? You can make them easy. Yes, you can. With DISC, the way that I teach it and have been for the last 13 years, combined with emotional intelligence, because it's not just about tactics and strategies and how-tos. It's also like how you go about differently inside of you. Example, if you keep judging people, if you find reasons to call them idiots or this or that or whatever colorful language you have invented, it means that you're still stuck, and that will keep you trapped in what I call the difficulty trap. It's a trap that you created for yourself. And so you have to, or let's say I'm inviting you to open yourself up, to embrace differences and difficulties as an opportunity for you to grow as a leader, as a sales professional, as a good human being in society, as well as an entrepreneur and business owner. And as you take this on, watch this space. This is absolutely insane. It works a treat, and I would love to be able to share this with you. And there's two ways that we can go about it, actually three. One is my book, How to Communicate for Results and Feel Great, is a great starting point. A second one is something completely for free. I'm hosting an information webinar called 3 Steps to Get Along with Anyone, Even Difficult People, and Get Results. And that webinar, there's actually 2 coming up, and I'll make sure that you have the links below this video. So come in, it's a free event. It's only about 45 minutes to 60 minutes tops, depending on the level of questions that you might have at the end. And the third version is, of course, come and join me at Communication Mastery, the masterclass of the decade, as one alumni has called it. I've also have heard people, some people also call it game-changing or transformational and the likes. And so I'd love to be able to share that framework with you and help you to practically apply it in your life and in your business or in your career and see the differences. In fact, one of the graduates who's done it twice already, he's actually used it to sell himself to his next employer twice and obtain the income that he wanted. I was speaking to a lawyer the other day who's also come through the program, and he has sent multiple staff of his and even clients that he paid for through the course to, one of which was a student that wanted to go into pharmacy. Become a GP, so medicine. And he said, I want to help her get in because it's so competitive, it's so challenging to get in, and I'm going to pay for this course because if she can communicate well and explain why she's worth giving an opportunity to become a doctor, that would really make it for me. And guess what? She got in. Alana is now in studying medicine as a result of being able to communicate well. And so there's all these opportunities and applications of communication mastery. But hey, I'm not here to sell it to you. You know whether you're not, you're ready for something more. And as I said, take my book if that's a great starting point for you. Come to the free information session, which again, you can register for on Eventbrite. And the last one, if you just want to get straight into it and dive deep in along with me, we have next Adelaide and Melbourne coming up. And there's other cities and even countries that we're taking you to as well next. So anyway, without further ado, thanks for joining. If you made it so far, well done. And I look forward to see you again next time. Thank you so much for joining me.